All right, so today we had two press conferences today. We had Usyk versus Dubois, and we also had Joshua versus White. Now, there's talking points from both of them, and just depending on what order these videos go out in. We're going to talk about Joshua in this video and the Joshua White press conference. More so some of the things he said after the press conference with regards, especially this one here, regards talkSPORT. This one here I find particularly interesting because Joshua he's really having a go at just talkSPORT in general, and I think the way that they've been, well, look, talkSPORT have been behaving absolutely horrendous for a while now with regards to the whole Fury Usyk situation, and you can see how pro-Warren they are, which, when Eddie Hearn goes on there, and especially with the Simon Jordan situation, when he goes on there, they are coming at him. They ain't letting him away without it, and they're asking him all these questions. When Warren goes on, it's a different situation altogether. He's really allowed to dominate the conversation. He doesn't really let the guys get a word in there edgeways. And in many ways, I get the impression that they're actually just too afraid to get a word in edgeways. He's got people like Gareth A. Davis, who really is a character, who is Tyson Fury's biggest cheerleader. That's what he is. And Joshua is obviously taking exception with it. I'll quote him here verbatim. It says, "When everyone's favourite of talkSPORT went 12 rounds without a Valine and bust his eye opened, no one complained. AJ goes 12 rounds with Franklin and it's, what's happening to the division? There is an attack on my name, especially from talkSPORT." You can't really blame him for being upset with talkSPORT in that regard, because they are very pro-Warren. They definitely are. I don't know why it's that. Well, obviously a lot of the guys who are there, your Gareth A. Davises, people like that, the Simon Jordans, they, for whatever reason, are just pro-Warren. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. And Frank Warren being able to go on there and just try and spin this false narrative, which no one's buying, thankfully, that, Tyson Fury is, he's the avoided man. He's tried to make the use. He's tried to do all these things. No, he hasn't. Right? But talkSPORT give him that platform to go on there and just talk absolute nonsense. When Eddie Hearn goes on there, like with the Conor Benn situation, my stance on the Conor Benn situation, right? But he gets both barrels. They don't let him away at anything. And you can see when Eddie Hearn is trying to answer back, Simon Jordan just almost seething. But yet when it's Frank Warren, it's just the polar opposite. There's no real difficult questions being asked. Warren really dictates the way the conversation goes. And again, you've got people like Gareth A. Davis on there who just seem to just want to give Fury a pass regardless. And, I don't blame Joshua for being upset. The interesting thing is he's alluding to the Otto Valine fight, which was a fight many people felt Tyson Fury, myself included, would win, because I guess at the time we didn't know too much about Otto Valine. There was some footage out there of him. He didn't look amazing in it. It wasn't setting the world alight. And I guess we all kind of thought, okay, that's going to be an easy win for Tyson Fury. Now, if you really want to delve into this, you could say that in terms of the comparison he's making there, that Fury went 12 rounds, he got a bad cut. Both AJ and Fury won both fights respectively very comfortably. I know there's some people who claim that the Valine fight was close. It wasn't a close fight. Fury clearly won. Some people were even claiming Valine won it. No. Valine never came close to winning that fight. The cut, different referee maybe, but in terms of on the scorecards, no, Otto Valine never came close to winning that fight. He really didn't. Likewise, Jermaine Franklin. The one thing you can say about Tyson Fury, and I'll give Tyson Fury credit here, okay, is that Fury wasn't gun-shy. He wasn't going in there and being like, alright, well, I don't really know this guy and he's cut me and I'm just going to hold back and box. Now, Fury was still throwing power shots. He was still trying to go in there and take Otto Valine's head off. He just wasn't able to. With Joshua, it was so apparent. It's like, I don't want to engage. I don't want to get into, I want to keep it as a boxing match. I don't want to get into a slugfest. I'm going to be gun-shy. That image is not a good image to have. And it's been consistent over the last few fights with Joshua. And I think talkSPORT, and to be honest with you, I don't begrudge talkSPORT picking up on that if they're turning around saying, he was gun-shy. And if you look at Fury, even though he went to 12 rounds with Valine, he wasn't. That is actually a fair criticism, to be fair. That is. But with the way they've been in a wider sense, in a sense that they've just been giving Fury a pass on blatantly ducking Alexander Usyk, and if you want to go back further, I try not to, but if you want to go back further, extortionate price for Chisora 3, which was a complete mismatch. And then obviously, and the fact of the matter was, as far as I'm concerned, he messed Anthony Joshua around. Joshua, I think, would have took that fight in December. But it's all these short notice deadlines. You shouldn't look at the contract. You just take the contract and sign it. And all this nonsense that it seems to be just so reoccurring with Tyson Fury. But again, talkSPORT in this sense just seem to give him a pass. They just seem to let Frank Warren go on there and try and spin whatever narrative he can, and they don't really say anything. But yet, if Joshua or Eddie Hearn did the same, I mean, let's just play devil's advocate here. Let's say Anthony Joshua, for whatever reason, decides, the Wilder fight is there. I know it's a bit different because there's not a title on the line and stuff, but let's just say, for argument's sake, Deontay Wilder fight is there and Joshua decides, this is the Saudi contract that we have. I'm not going to sign it. Wilder has to come to Wembley to fight me. He's going to have to take a short end of the purse. There's going to be no rematch. And there's going to be all this 70-30. If he started making these demands and moving the goalposts, right? Best believe, right, talkSPORT would be going in on Anthony Joshua. I mean, if he behaved the way Fury behaved with the USAC negotiations, they would tear him to shreds, and they tear Eddie Hearn to shreds. But yet, when it's Tyson Fury, they don't care. They give Frank Warren carte blanche to just try and talk absolute nonsense. USAC's the one who does. Do me a favour, Frank. You love saying that, but that's really what it is. So I can see why Joshua is upset with talkSPORT, definitely. The guys on the, certainly in the boxing edge, Ade does a bit of boxing with talkSPORT. He's primarily football with them. And, Ade should, I know he likes doing the football, but I wouldn't mind if they did more boxing with Ade on talkSPORT, because God almighty, Garrett A. Davis, Adam Cattrall's not bad to be fair, but Garrett A. Davis, I mean, that guy is just, I really, truly, I'm not going to go in there, but I really don't know how he still has a job. I really don't. I really, truly, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's baffling to me how he still is able to get employed by people like talkSPORT. It baffles me. It really does. Really, truly does. Anyway, rant over on that. What are your thoughts? Do you feel that Joshua is right in his criticism of talkSPORT, or do you feel that he's blowing it out of proportion and that he needs to focus on getting through Dylan White, because Dylan White is still a live dog in there? Some people feel anyway that he's got punching power. He certainly does have that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, people, if you could, smash the like button. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. For now, I'll talk to you. Peace.